going, Critter Family? I hope you all are doing well. Hope your little loved ones are doing well. This Facebook post was suggested to me by They Call Me Chips on the channel. So just reading what this person has to say already in their title, I thought it would be very interesting to go over because they have a warning for, we'll get more into the message, but they say some aspects of this video may not be suitable for most purely positive and force-free dog trainers or keyboard warriors who know nothing about canine behavior. Well, lucky for him. I am a force-free dog trainer. I never call myself purely positive. That is a word that I'm going to say purely punitive or purely punishing dog trainers, I'm imagining, like himself. Since he's going to use that language towards us, I'm going to use that language towards him. So a purely punishment-based dog trainer, who my guess is that they're not very educated. I'm not a keyboard warrior. I do know about canine behavior. So anyway, he doesn't have to worry about that. So I'm going to be using this post and all this footage here under Fair Use Act for education, criticism, giving my point of view, trying to clear up maybe some of the mumbo jumbo that they put out there, and try to give a voice to this dog and explain what I see going on. So if you're interested in seeing that, then let's get started. We're going to take a look at his post here. It says, warning. Some aspects of this video may not be suitable for most, again, he says, I'm just going to say positive reinforcement, or force-free dog trainers, or keyboard warriors who know nothing about canine behavior. Well, as I stated earlier, I'm a force-free dog trainer. I do know a lot about canine behavior. I am not a behaviorist, but I do know about canine behavior. I'm not a keyboard warrior, and I believe that he is a purely punitive or purely punished-based force trainer. That's just my opinion, my words. Working a pet dog with a ton of reactivity through, so this is a pet dog. Okay, good. It's a Belgian Malinois, looks like. It's becoming increasingly more popular, probably because of the movie Dog, with Channing Tatum in it. Love that guy. But anyway, working a pet dog with a ton of reactivity through some of his demons, okay? This dog is right at 2 years old, neutered, and has never done any bite training, okay? The owner has had this dog from 12 weeks and has been dealing with this type of reactivity for a while. We'll get to the video here in just a second. The dog has been through oh, good Lord. Okay, sorry, I see board and train and I just stress. Through a 30-day board and train and started sessions with another trainer. That's why, look, I don't offer board and trains for a reason, unless, for multiple reasons. I can't take in dogs, at this point in my life, I live in an apartment, it just, wouldn't work out. I have Hermes. I would love to at some point, but, I would love to, I would be very, very picky about the clients I take. Just like they should be very picky about the trainers they allow to hold on to their dog for, a month's worth of training. And the thing is, I am not training the dog for you. I am training you to train your dog. If I do take a board and train, then I can help jumpstart things like, start a puppy or get some of the basic behaviors down, or if I have a reactive dog, I can really work with them. But I really have to make sure I also train the people to think like me. Otherwise, it's pointless. So they started this board and train, this dog did, for 30 days with another trainer. Sessions were canceled by the trainer after the dog lunged at him during a session. Okay? Hey, that's fine. Everybody has the right to remove consent, including the dog, at any point. Full disclosure, the dog actually has decent obedience. I don't really care about obedience. Like the sit, the down, the stay, those give people a false confidence about a dog. I don't care if a dog is in a down stay like this dog is. This dog can clearly shows he's very stressed. And again, we'll go over the video here in just a second. But a dog, just like the Home Depot video I went over, I think it was Home Depot, a Great Dane was on a head halter. A woman wanted to pet the dog. The dog was apparently supposed to be a service animal in training. A stranger asked to pet the dog. The owner said, tell the dog to sit. Before doing so, the woman who had the little milk bone did so. I guess went to go give the dog a cookie or a pet it or something, and the dog lunged up and bit her in the face. So, not the dog's fault. When we force our animals into a position to make a human more comfortable, we put everyone at risk. And especially the animal, because they are at risk of losing their life if they don't just comply with whatever humans, ignorance wants. Like, I'm not saying that people who automatically tell their dog to sit before getting pets, I'm not saying that they mean to do that, but we need to point this out and realize that obedience is not should not be a number one priority over a dog's comfort. Okay, so they said has decent obedience with one enormous exception: he wants to eat people. I don't think he necessarily just wants to eat people. I think he's just very nervous, and he's learned that when I lunge at people, it could be rewarding to him, it could be reinforcing for a number of reasons, that it gets them away from him, or it's fun to chase people because he has a very high prey drive. He's a Belgian Malinois. They call them Maligators for a reason. So I don't agree with whatever this wording is that he says. So I see why a lot of other, educated trainers would be bothered by that. In most cases, I wouldn't bother throwing a suit on. Well, you shouldn't anyway, because a lot of times the bite suit will intimidate the dog, and they end up biting you first. How about you condition a basket muzzle instead of putting on a bite suit? But something the way he writes this, but something told me that this dog was a little different. You will notice that all bites in this video are completely unprovoked, and in most cases, I was even walking away or just standing. That's provoking the dog. I know this because I deal with dogs like this all the time. Just shifting my weight can cause a dog to lunge at me. Literally shifting from one leg to the other. If I turn my back, they will lunge. If I walk away, they will lunge. Because to them, they don't know what you're going to do. You could stand there perfectly fine, totally still make, a fraction of a second of eye contact, and they want to lunge. It's just a learned behavior. I never had the dog in a compromising position. I disagree with that, because right now you have him in a down. Believe nothing of what you hear and only half of what you see. I never had the dog in a compromising position or even had him close to a fight or flight situation. You don't get to decide that. The dog does, dummy. You don't get to decide whether you may say that you didn't put him in, but clearly the dog felt like it. The dog is not at home. They are not comfortable. They are already in a fight or flight position. Situation. This dog is the real deal. What is the real deal? What is his definition of the real deal? What does he mean there? I actually like him a lot. Who cares what you like? Who cares what you think? But the behavior he's exhibiting cannot continue, and we must find balance. Okay, in his words, balance meaning, oh yeah, balanced training is great. No, it's 95% punishment, 5% what you call positive reinforcement. Or in this case, just flooding, and when you're not flooding the dog, and you're not scaring the dog, and you're not forcing them, you punitive punish-based trainer, purely punishment-based trainer, when you're not punishing them, then that other bit, that's their positive reinforcement. He has to understand. No, he doesn't have to. You need to understand him and help him understand. He has to understand the owner is in control. Jesus. Okay. All right. Over controlling people. And doesn't need him to act in this manner. Who cares what the owner wants or needs? Whatever happened to the dog's needs? The dog didn't ask to come into this family or this world of humans that are uneducated and, just think that we own everything, because clearly we do. Some things to think about. The dog has no prior bite training, so therefore the suit is not a trigger. You can't say that, because we don't know. I mean, a dog could never go after a person before, but if a person is walking around with a broom and it somehow scares the dog could go bite the person with the broom. The dog is neutered. In my opinion, way too young. Being neutered will not solve this issue, ever. Well, that's your opinion. I mean, he's right. I mean, it can't. I mean, never listen to anybody who says, never and always and this and that. And, he says ever, not never. But he says in his mind, the dog understands the basic commands. We don't know that the dog actually understands it. I mean, does the dog understand it? Or can you say the word and the dog responds? Then they understand it. But do you say it and the dog doesn't respond and they're waiting for you to pop them with a leash? And actually performs them very well. Who cares if the dog performs commands? During our session, the owner looked at me, smiled, said, I've never been this close to anyone with this dog. That is so sad. For many reasons. Because the owner is, mainly, because the owner is impressed by this flooding, this aggressive, punishment-based trainer. This mental, psychological shutdown. He's probably I could say this guy is just as bad as Dog Daddy, but he doesn't show it. He's more tricky. He hides his method. We don't know what happened during this dog's stay with this guy. If it did a stay, I'm assuming a board and train with him. I fully believe that this dog can be managed. Dummy. Any animal can be managed. I mean, unless there's the small percentage of it's just really unhealthy, really stressful for the animal, or they do become unpredictable. Dogs are very predictable, but I believe this dog can be managed, and through proper socialization, he will become more neutral in settings that would not normally trigger him. So to me, that sounds like when he says neutral, that means to me shut down. Through how he's going to train, the dog will appear neutral, but the dog is just shut down and so overstimulated that they're just learned helplessness. Obedience, I don't care about obedience. And more importantly, structure. To me, structure is not about drill sergeant. My structure is not the same as their structure. My structure is the dog feels comfortable. They can trust me. They can follow me. I can follow them. They know that I will never put them in a situation that makes them feel threatened. But his structure will allow for this team to thrive and continue to create more amazing life memories. The owner and I have already established an action plan moving forward. Well, good for you. And you'll be seeing a lot more of this guy in the coming weeks. Ah, lovely. Okay. Anyway. So, first we see a dog that to me, he has this fancy music on. So I'm just going to turn this music off. First off, I see a dog that is very, very stressed. Their ears are back. They have worry lines. They are in a down because they're forced to be. I can guarantee it that this dog was made to lay down, and just because they complied, people are going to be, impressed by it. This dog is stress panting. They are very uncomfortable. And then, God, look at that dog. Just lip lick. So he takes a step. He says he's walking this way. The dog could see that as he's walking towards him. Or you could see the dog is increasing with anxiety. Let's go. We're going to go at half speed. Lip lick. Whale eyes. Looks at the guy. The guy tightens the leash. And bam. Lip lick, and he wants to go for the guy. So what the guy could have done before that happened is he could have just taken a step. Look at how stressful this dog. This is a spatulate tongue. This dog is super stressed. Everything about him is tense. Lip lick. He comes over, he tightens the leash and shortens it. The dog sees him in his peripheral. Whale eyes, very nervous. So the guy, if he had stopped here, the dog may not have gone for him. But he takes another step, and bam, the dog wants to go up and bites him. Now, the dog could see this suit. Who knows what they smell? But the dog could see the suit and say, he's scary because he's bigger, and I'm trapped with him. Who knows if this dog may have never bitten anybody because it may not have been tied to them. And the dog goes after him and bites. So we're going to go back to regular. And he starts, tugging this guy around. So, I don't know if this dog has an e-collar on or a prong collar. I'm imagining it's not just a flat buckle. And he starts choking the dog out. And then what happened during that cut? Cuts are very, very important. Instead of having this dog teaching this, this dog has practiced now biting a person's clothing and shaking it. Instead of preventing that from happening by conditioning a muzzle. And when I work with a dog like this, when I work with reactive dogs, I don't care to take the leash. I have the owner hold the leash. I don't take the dog. Nice chain here that you tie a dog up to the wall with a chain. Lovely. Oh, there's an e-collar remote right there charging. I thought that was a phone charger. No, it's an e-collar remote. Lovely. So I'm assuming this dog has an e-collar. That could very well cause this behavior to be worse. Purely punishment-based trainer. Still stressed. Instead of the dog practicing calm behavior around him, he doesn't even realize, he's teaching the dog to bite. Instead of, again, having a muzzle on so the dog doesn't learn to bite and shake and be reinforced by this. So of course it's going to be reinforcing. He's a Malinois. He has that drive to, he likes to, again, Maligator. He like to bite things and tug around at them and all that. So, oh, Jesus Christ, dude. So, he has a choke chain on, and he's just choking the dog. Look at that face. Wow. Good on you, buddy. I'm being sarcastic for anyone who doesn't think. So, I see why you say people would be, it wouldn't be suitable. This is abuse. This is mental, physical, psychological, emotional abuse. And you, sir, are an uneducated idiot. You get off by punishing other animals, and you blatantly show it on Facebook and mock people who actually give a damn about the animal and their emotional state. And this is a shock collar. So not only is he getting choked with a nice little choke chain that has the little black cord in it. I don't care who got it. I don't care if the owner got it or probably the last trainer told them to get it for the dog. Jesus, choke. The dog cannot swallow. Whale eyes. He's just like American Upstate Canine. Or Upstate Canine Academy, whatever. Tom Davis, when he had his little catch pole with a muzzled dog and he had a prong collar and all shock collar and all this nonsense. Okay, so then there's another cut. What happened there? Revolutionary my ass. You're stuck in the past. You probably follow the Keeler method. Okay, tiny room, lip lick, the dog is now in a down. How many times did you press a shock collar? How long did you choke this dog? What did you do? I don't even know that he's hitting the e-collar remote. Maybe the owner is. I don't know. I'm not saying he necessarily is. I mean, it doesn't make a difference. It doesn't matter. He just choked the dog, even though he set it up for failure. This dog is essentially tethered to its worst fear. Say you're tied to a chair in the middle of this room, or you're chained to the wall here, and a giant, I don't know, 14 foot, if that's minimum or small, say a 30-foot anaconda comes slithering, and they can come up to you whenever they want, and they can leave whenever they want, and they can stay there if they want, they can get all in your face, and anytime you react, someone hits you with a cattle prod, or they choke you, or they even use an e-collar, not that that's any different, but, they shock you. It's just, and look at this nice music to make it epic sounding. Dude, you don't know squat. However many years you've been in business, you have 1 year of experience however many times. Say you've been doing this for 20 years, I don't know, then you have 1 year of experience 20 times. Because you've just done the same thing over and over and over and over again. I don't have nearly as much experience, I'm sure, as he's going to boast. I have 8 years working with clients. I have 8 years one time. Not 1 year, 8 times. That 8 years has taught me so much of working with dogs. Again, stressed, looking at him. And if this idiot even knew what to do, now the dog has just reinforced that, when you stop, now I go and bite. He's taught the dog to bite. And because he feels safe, because he's in his little suit, his little space suit that protects him, so he doesn't have to be held accountable, he can set this dog off, the dog can learn a bad lesson, and then he gets to reward himself, because it seems very rewarding for the punisher to punish in this case, the victim. So he gets to choke the dog, choke, cause the dog to go into, Jesus, the dog is airborne. Now I know the dog is probably jumping, but wow. The owner probably doesn't like this, but she says, hey, it's results. This is laughable. To me, what's impressive is if you can work with this dog without ever touching them. No, you don't have tools on them. You don't ever correct them. You don't touch them. That takes skill and education. I work with dogs like this all the time. I never even grab their leash. And that's not even just me. The really skilled people out there that are positive reinforcement trainers, force-free. Nobody ever said, we don't call ourselves purely positive. Again, the purely punitive, punishment-based people say that because they're bullies. And there's no educating a bully. There's no reasoning with a bully. So he bullies dogs who can't fight back. He bullies people who won't fight back. choking this poor thing. Jesus, dude. So this dog is looking to their owner for help. And their owner is like, oh, this guy's great, you know? This guy, he's real impressive. Jesus. This dog will end up with damaged trachea if it doesn't already. Maybe thyroid issues. Distrust of people. This dog is not going to trust him. It's just going to be fearful. Shut down. Learned helplessness. I mean, I could go through more of this, but I just don't care to right now. You know, if you want to, go check it out. You know, go check out this video. It's by Revolutionary Canine. Okay? You can go follow him if you want to. You can hate on me if you want to. Don't shoot the messenger, man. I'm just speaking the truth. I'm speaking up for this dog. You want to go to trainer and choke your dog? You want to choke your dog to teach them to not bite someone? I mean, I can't stop you. So, this guy, in my opinion, is just as bad as Augusto, Dog Daddy. So, there's that. I mean, I hate to say, hope you guys enjoyed, but, if anybody learned something from this, I hope you did. I know I'm going to get many people, just like all the people in these comments, who will laugh at people and, oh, so they're nonsense. Just look at this one from Ian Hurd. I am not a professional dog trainer, but have trained German Shepherd dogs for years. Well, apparently you are a dog trainer then. You don't have to be certified or educated. Anyone can call themselves a dog trainer. Thus, this guy. Watching this video, I have to say that the trainer is in control of the situation. You're not wrong. He is in control. He's causing all this chaos. And he probably doesn't even realize it. Yes, he's wearing protective clothing, but one has to look after themselves first. Now, you wouldn't have to if you looked after the dog's needs. You didn't set them up for failure. You didn't flood them. You had the dog conditioned to a basket muzzle. I mean, he's just choking the dog. He's sitting them up, hitting them with the shock collar, zapping them with it, whatever. I don't care what you say. Stimming them. It's electricity, okay? Shocking them with the shock collar, choking this dog with the choke chain, crushing its esophagus and well, I guess the trachea. I guess esophagus would be later down here, but the trachea where they breathe. But, ignorance is bliss, I suppose. In the land of the blind, man with one eye is king. So, one final word to all the people that will come here and tell me I don't know what I'm talking about and how I'm just plain wrong. The opinion of 10,000 men is of no value if none of them understand anything about the subject. That's what I have to say to him, his followers, and any of the haters on here. So thank you everyone for watching. I do appreciate all of you, and I will continue to say thank you for, the kind words that you send for my sweet boy Adonis. I miss him dearly, and I'm just so glad to hear that he's able to help even just a handful of you all. So thank you so much for your support of the channel. I do wish you all the very best. Please go say howdy do to all your little critters from me. Give them some kind of loving. And until next time, stay positive.